All right, hey everybody, and welcome to the 90-minute art challenge life drawing class brought to you by Schoolism and Lightbox Expo. Schoolism is the place to go to learn how to do art, and then Lightbox Expo is the place to go to discover all the artists behind your favorite movies, games, video games, whatever. Yeah, so let's get started. Um, Little housekeeping. You saw the first one. So, a little housekeeping here. I want to, of course, thank my wonderful co-host, whichever side, I think this side, Kay Acedera, for joining me. Hey, Kay.
Hey guys.
Awesome. And then
Sorry.
also, we're connecting through Discord, through the Lightbox Expo Discord, which you can find the address on the bottom of the screen on the bottom left-hand side. You can also ask questions through Slido as well as Discord. You could go to slido.com, hashtag 90Mac, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. And let's get started, okay? So here's how it goes. 90 minutes of drawing. Today's subject is 70s women's fashion. I'm very excited about this one. So we're going to have 4 1-minute poses instead of 5. Okay, 4 2-minute poses, 4 5-minute poses, and then 5 10-minute poses. And we might extend the 10th or the 5th 10-minute pose because we'll have like a few minutes left over in our total 90-minute art challenge. Okay, so here we go. Here's the first one. 1-minute drawings starting now.
The 70s did really have cool fashion.
I picked this one thinking of you as like, yeah, I think Kay would really might enjoy this one. But also, I really enjoyed it because I don't really, I didn't really pay attention to a lot of this stuff until I started getting the references, and then all of a sudden, oh, that's really neat. Oh, that was really neat. I already learned a bunch of stuff just by doing the references, which is really fun. It says 15 seconds in between poses, just to let you know. 7 seconds left. Awesome. Okay, next pose is happening in about 8 seconds.
Ooh.
2 poses, so you could choose.
I love the shape of their hairs too.
Right?
Cool.
I love the whole combo between the hair fashion and the clothes fashion. It's like this retro kind of futuristic retro kind of look to me. That's how it feels. Right? Like that's what they figured modern kind of almost like future kind of feeling stuff would be.
Yeah, something practical and a bit more minimal than the previous era.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite era of fashion?
No,
They're
they're
all
all
interesting in their own
popular.
ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like trying to pick what's your favorite art, decade. There's there's so many.
All right, so that's 2 1-minute poses. Here's the third 1-minute pose. Again, you can choose which one to kind of go with. That's what I really like about these first bunch of poses. You could just choose. Now, I just want to say, I did, these are authentic images. These are authentic images from the 70s. So in terms of diversity, unfortunately today we do not have any diversity. Not much anyways, in terms of like ethnic groups and things like that. But that's definitely something I want to, of course, tackle in the future, being a minority myself. Just want to let people know that I am thinking about these things. I just wanted to grab something that was very authentic, though. Okay, so, oops. Yeah, all right, you got, a few extra seconds to start this one. When I was talking with a costume designer about today's stream, the person was saying, yeah, it's far better to get authentic, pictures from that era than to, get it anywhere else. And then from there, that's when you become creative, right, and do your own thing. Okay, and now we're on to 2-minute poses. About 7 seconds. Right, there is a little bit of diversity in terms of age. I was able to find some little kids' outfits, which are adorable, by the way, so adorable. But you know what would also be cool is if, if we put some diversity into our drawings.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It is great, though, how much I noticed the fact that there was no diversity. Going back 10 years ago, if I was to do the same kind of assignment, I probably never would have noticed. So it is good to see progress in society that way. Now, this is a 2-minute drawing, so you want to adjust your time slightly.
It is looking easy.
Don't you love the outfit? That big bow and stuff? And the buttons on the side. That's so neat. All these things are quite new to me. To pay attention to them, anyways. All right. Next 2-minute pose. This one reminds me of Scooby-Doo, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Is it the colors?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I love the hairstyles, right? It's so fun. What does everybody think about this today's subject? I would love to know in the chat. Or even in Discord. I forget, we're all connected through Discord.
I love it.
Yay! Is that Noah?
Yeah, that's
Yay.
we were just before you guys came in, we were discussing like 70s stuff.
Oh, great. Cool.
Yeah. And it's like
I mean,
fashion is so different than what we have today.
Mm-hmm. Somebody else gonna
it's
say
always
something?
fascinating. It's always fascinating just to go back and look into the fashion, the way that just like what was normal in that time, just to
Mm-hmm.
like look like the kind of clothing and hairstyles, etc. It's just fun.
Totally.
It's like it's also interesting to see the poses that they chose for the models, but because it's very deliberate.
Yeah. Well, they're very different too from what you see in nowadays magazines, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Kay would know more than I would for sure. The poses have changed, right, Kay? Like these are very distinctive.
Absolutely. Now there's a bit more natural kind of ness to the poses, but it's you know, it's all planned, like every kind of shoot, right? And then the model has like the freedom to just play around.
These poses remind me of like James Bond for some reason. I think maybe because like I grew up with Sean Connery as James Bond. These feel very...
The quality of like the image is definitely of that sort of film and grain and such.
Yeah. It's very neat. By the way, everybody, it doesn't really matter if you're doing good, bad drawings right now. If you're doing great drawings, great. But if they're not so hot, that's totally fine too. It's really all about just putting in that effort. Okay, so last 2-minute pose. These guys go by so quick.
Oh,
It's like they're all holding their like collars, their
Mm,
necks.
that's interesting. That's a very interesting observation. I didn't notice that at all. Wow.
It's like me.
Who, me? Are you saying that I'm pretty? Me?
In the sweater.
Oh, thank you. You like the sweater? My sweater?
Buy this sweater. It'll make you look elegant like me.
I'm going to change the pose slightly too.
Picturing her.
I like how you see the drawstring there. That's kind of interesting. And how the bottom of the shirt, it kind of, that's not a one piece, right? Is it, you think? It looks like the bottom of the shirt has kind of like an elasticy kind of thing.
It totally could be.
But then there's that drawstring, which makes me wonder if this is a one piece or not. But that's part of the fun of the investigating a topic. I like her hair too. It's really kind of Charlie's Angels feeling. Okay, so we're on to 5-minute drawings now. Starting off with the first one. Oops, there we go. This is a really cool outfit too. See, I don't know much about women's clothing, so all this stuff is really interesting. How the skirt, kind of like the pleated parts go right up to like to her armpits. I thought that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that's just normal to you to see, or?
Oh, that is like the baby doll kind of cut. Is that your?
Yeah, I just never thought to make a dress go up, to have the pleats go up so much. Just learning with everybody else here today. It's great.
I'm gonna have fun here.
By the way, I just wanted to mention somebody from the YouTube told us that the overlay is still the same from previous week, Dave Suboski. So
Oh.
next to Kay.
Oh, I'm
Maybe-
sorry, Kay.
What's
You're
that?
named Dave Zaboski right now.
I'm Dave.
Oh no.
Great to be Dave.
Don't worry, I'm on it. Thank you so much. That was an Easter egg, and you found it. Yay. Okay, you're definitely not a Dave. It's funny. Today was a bit of a rush to get settled.
Very busy day.
Okay, back to my little 5-minute thingy. It's a nice little break though, to just get some fresh eyes on this. I don't know if I don't think I mentioned it to you yet, Kay, because I just did it this morning. I set up a board for next week, and next week's topic is birds, if that's all right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
There's so many different kinds of birds out there, you know, it's going to be really fun. Birds are really interesting because there's like, you know, there's like vegetarian birds, of course. There's birds of prey. Then there's like parasite birds, right? And there's so many different kinds of birds. There's flightless birds. The variety is really insane.
What's a parasite bird? Or did you say paradise?
Parasite birds, yeah. There's birds that, you know, feed off of other animals, right, while they're still alive. Peck at them and you know, create wounds and feed. It's gross.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I think they're so fascinating. And of course, they're also, you know, what dinosaurs turned into or whatever. So
there's better be a cassowary in there.
I'll put it on my list. I haven't actually collected all the bird photos yet. So. But I also really like the idea that, Nico, did you bring this up about the circus? To do a circus-themed one?
Yeah,
that-
I love that.
Yeah, that one sounds
I
great
love circus
too.
aesthetic, and there can be so many things that we can work out. Clowns, trapezes, magicians,
Yeah.
stuntmen.
Totally.
Some people are scared of clowns.
Because of the
I used to be as a kid, but as I grew up,
Oh.
I just find them just fascinating characters.
All right, here we go. Second 5-minute.
And Bobby, if I can bring a topic to talk about regarding, you just said like the theme of inclusion, and
Yeah.
I always find amazing in, especially in the area of just character design and visual development in modern media and films, just that now people are more inclusive, and as you said, and people, and they, when they make like movies inspiring old times, like in retro eras or anything, they want to be inclusive even though it wasn't as portrayed in the media in that times. And I always find amazing how people and bring up the, yeah, there were people that were different, the minority groups, but they were still portraying beautiful ways nowadays. I don't know if I'm expressing myself well. The idea of now people search in a way to include these kind of characters and people, even though they weren't portrayed in that time. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that to me is a slightly touchy subject because as long like if people watch some new stuff and go, "Oh, we were all good before." Like this is how it was before. Then I feel like that's a real slippery slope because that's forgetting about history. But at the same time, every time I see inclusion done right, I'm just like, right on. That is so great. So
Yeah,
that's kind of my thoughts on that.
it is a touchy.
Understand.
Yeah. I love when it's put in there very well, like it's seamless. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, we're trying to tell you that we are being very inclusive. I don't really like that as much as when it's like you see the inclusivity and it just fits in so well. They just feel like natural, like these characters were just there. They belong there. And it wasn't because they were a minority or something that they got added into the story.
I totally agree.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal for diversity in general, I would think.
Yeah, to just feel normal.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I really liked basketball. And then we were talking one day, me and my friends, and it's like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I kind of like basketball. And then they're like, have you seen any other Chinese basketball players? And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess not. Which is probably a good thing because I don't really have much skill in basketball. But at the same time, if I did, then that would really suck. I'd feel, yeah, that's really bad. But also, we have questions in Slido and stuff like that. These days, it's nice to just paint and draw. But if there are any questions, please let me know. Or please let us know. Got 1 minute left.
There is a question on Slido from Diphawk. How do you go about getting people interested in the project you're working on without a built-in audience? So if you started fresh, how would you get people pulled into your work?
Oh, that's tough. Well, you could try things like collaborating. That's the first thing that pops in my mind. Like, what else? You could do things like, Well, if you're not popular either, if nobody knows who you are as well, then of course that changes things again. But if people know who you are, but don't know the project, maybe you could do like a draw this in your style kind of thing. Those are always fun.
Time's up.
Okay, 5 minutes. Here's the third one. Third 5-minute drawing. Look at
Aw.
this cutie. She looks like she's very mature and just thinking like really mature things, but stuck in a tiny child's body. Maybe it's the clothes. Makes her feel a bit more, I don't know. But that's neat to see like the kinds of clothes people would consider buying for their kids in the 70s.
Yes.
I should have did this in color, now that I think about it. I think I'll try
Not
to...
too late.
Yeah, I'll try to do that for the next one's color. These are too fun. And really what makes it so fun, like most of it for me, is like seeing these wonderful colors too.
Is she holding her hand behind her, or does her dress have a pocket?
I think it has a pocket.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, so
That's what I'm assuming.
Bring the back buckets.
There's a question on Slido from Joel Santana. How do you come to terms with the fact that you have more ideas than you probably ever accomplish in your life? At 40, I sometimes worry about time.
Oh,
Oh,
well, that's
yeah.
okay. You know, that's normal. Aren't we supposed to have more ideas than we have time for? Or like more sketches than we have finished paintings, right? It's part of the process. I feel it though. I feel you. You know, like nowadays, getting on a new thing, I really think about it a lot. A lot more than before.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, how do you want to spend your time? Right, that's a big one. I kind of say, like, you don't try to do everything. You try to really think about the things that are important to you and really go after those with way more effort. Sometimes you only need to know one thing, right? And that determines, like, success for the rest of your life. Some of the people that a lot of us in the public like look up to is because they made the same sushi for 40 years, you know, and just did that one thing.
That's so true.
Right? I wonder sometimes, do we look up to these people because it's not in our human nature to just do the same thing over and over again forever, like for that long? I wonder. Crud. All right. Oops.
Time's up.
Yes, time's up. Here's the next one. What's that on my shoe? Four minutes.
We got another question from Slido.
Sure.
What do you think is the best way to find time to do daily practice drawing when you have a busy schedule? From Kenzie.
Well, can I just say, like, that's totally the boat I'm in. And so what I do is I drop in a thing into my schedule of, like, scheduling that time out to do whatever, right? When things get too busy, I start to use time chunks. And so, like, I love doing these kind of practice things. I love doing learning kind of things. So with, like, my Schoolism courses that I take, I put in time chunks into my schedule to just concentrate on Schoolism courses. Or I should say. And the other thing I do is I always have it open on my computer, right? And that's such an easy and huge key to constantly learning, is just have it very accessible. I know it sounds so kind of simple, but same thing with sketchbooks, you know, like we made, I forget how many sketchbooks we made, Kay, but we made like 1,000 sketchbooks or something, so that we, you know, one, so everybody else can have sketchbooks, but also two, so that we could put sketchbooks literally everywhere in our lives, and we are never far away from a sketchbook, Kay and I. You know, so make things accessible, which is also why, you know, if I may give a little plug to Schoolism subscriptions, you know, you get access to over 50 courses. All the courses on Schoolism you get access to with the Schoolism subscription, right? Which makes it at your fingertips. And when it is, and when you always have something open, you can't help but to just go in there every, you know, just a little bit each day and just turn it on or something. You know, it's already on your screen. It's a different tab maybe. And when you start to do that, over a couple months of just randomly, you know, turning courses on and just watching little bite-sized bits, you actually do learn quite a lot from, you know, my own experiences. I didn't do color, Kay.
It's okay.
All right.
It's a slow day, I feel. It's cool. It's like chill, you know.
Yeah.
We're just practicing. see.
Yeah.
Having fun at the same time. No stress.
Oh, jeez. All right. So the next pose is our first 10-minute pose. Oh my gosh, that stinks. Okay, here we go. Next pose, starting now.
Nice.
That looks like a cool outfit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like something like if I saw somebody wearing today, I'd be like, oh, that's a pretty cool outfit. Still, like it would fit in. I wouldn't feel like they're from 50 years ago or something. Okay, gotta try to attempt color.
I know. Oh gosh.
There's another question on Slido again. From Anonymous, do you prefer to squeeze the extra work hours late at night or go to bed early and wake up super early? Which one do you find more productive?
Early. I tried both. Sorry, go ahead, Kate.
Oh yeah, when I'm bad, definitely I'm a night owl. I could go on. Bobby has seen like those bad habits of just like I'm on a project and just you know full steam ahead, which is really bad. Don't do that.
I like early because that's when I'm the freshest, right? I got the best hours of the day. Nobody's up yet. And then I could just do everything that I need to do for a few hours before the rest of the world wakes up. And then I gotta, yeah. Also, like I've tried like after work working on my stuff, and the problem with that is I'm just so tired. Like can anybody relate to this? You're just so tired. Like you could be at work. I remember being at work thinking about once I get home, I'm going to start working on this painting. And then you get home and you're like, I'm hungry. Oh, I smell. I got to take a shower. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And then you look over and you're like, oh, I'm tired.
For me, it's different. Like, I feel sometimes tired, but it is more not like sleeping tired, if you know what I mean. So,
like Alice in Wonderland, kind of tired.
I don't know.
Like, is this reality or is this not?
This is, yeah. I like to, usually for me, I'm very alert, and then at a certain point, I'm just, I really need to like fall asleep, if you know what I mean. Like,
I nowadays, like, I don't know when I fall asleep. You know how you can feel yourself getting tired?
yeah.
Most of the time now, I just wake up somewhere. I'm like, what happened?
I get that.
Really makes a difference when you get like full 8 hours of sleep or something.
Do you get the full 8 hours, Kay? Normally?
Good question, Trisha. Some days more than others.
I feel like we do more like, you know how like we do like the small packed in naps, and then we'll do a couple of them. I feel like that's what happens most of the time.
Has it ever happened to you when you're like already in bed, about to fall asleep, and then an idea that you love comes to your head, like a concept that this would
Yeah.
be make an amazing painting or something, and but
Yeah.
everything is already dark. You already left your sketchbook, but you just need to wake up, turn on the lights, grab something, and just start making that thing at the moment of inspiration.
Well, that's when the phone comes in, no?
I put a sketchbook beside my bed.
Yeah. But then if it's dark, then you're sketching in the dark and you're just kind of picturing what you're sketching, I guess. And hopefully
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
something.
It's a surprise in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a sketchbook in a drawer underneath the bed, and then I have my phone in case it's dark.
Emergency.
Hopefully not.
There's a question on Slido which is kind of relating to this subject from Anonymous. What would you say is your best way to get motivated or stay awake to get up early to draw?
Oh, psyching yourself up 100%. That's for me anyways. Yeah, I like if it's cold outside and stuff and I gotta walk out, I psych myself up. When I gotta wake up in the morning, I psych myself up, you know, and just try to get excited. Today could be an amazing day. This one's really fun, actually. I feel like getting a bit more done than usual, which is nice. It's like those 1 minutes and 2 minutes and 5 minutes really kind of scare you to work faster, and then by the time you get to 10 minutes, you're just working fast through the whole entire thing. Unless you remember it's a 10-minute pose, and then you slow down. Or that's what happens to me. That's the other interesting thing about life drawing, isn't it? It's like, just because of time restraints, there's this extra layer on this kind of game, if you think about it as a game.
We have another question from Misako Floden. What do you think made you known as an artist, when you started your career? Do you have any tips to keep motivated for who just started career as an artist?
Oh, that's a good one. Like for me, it was subway sketching. It was a few things. It was entering contests, actually. Because in the beginning, yeah, how's anybody going to notice you? So I start entering contests, and then you start communicating with the people that are also doing the contest. Oh, looks like our 10 minutes is up. Okay, next one. Starting now. Yeah, I remember entering contests in CG Talk and Autodesk Sketchbook Pro, or as alias Wavefront at the time, had a contest, and I got to win the thing, and that really, really helped get noticed. You know, there's sometimes, though, I want to caution people. Sometimes contests are done in a way where it's like you're doing free work for them or something, and that's not cool. You know, like a lot of people try to take advantage of artists in that way. But then there's some contests, like, for example, Lightbox Expos contests. You know, we don't use the stuff for anything. We just throw contests because we want to throw a contest. And then we give out prizes because we have wonderful friends that want to give prizes. You know, it's not to create art for the cover of Lightbox Expos, blah, blah, blah. That, to me, seems not cool, right? If you go, yeah, we're looking for merchandise ideas or something, and give us your ideas and we'll pick one of them and not give you anything, and then produce all this stuff and benefit, right? That kind of stuff doesn't really sit as well for me. But I am a big fan of contests. I feel like it's a really amazing way to be discovered or to discover, you know, new people. Just throw a contest and see who enters and stuff. Oh my gosh, talking, and I've been spending all that time on this face.
Great advice, Bobby.
Thanks.
Should I make Kay more busy with the next question?
Good luck with that.
There is a good question. For you both, really. Is there a place you haven't visited yet that you want to travel to? Is there a place you and Kay want to visit that you haven't traveled to yet?
So
Yeah.
many.
Oh, so many. Yeah. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Planning.
Does anybody have any suggestions? Put them in the comments.
Come here.
Done. That's easy.
I feel like, was the question places that we haven't been, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
And then you wish to go.
Well, we can pretend we've never been.
I think Africa. We've been to northern part of Africa, but not
Have we?
south.
I don't even know. Well, yeah,
I don't know,
we haven't been
pretty
to
old, yeah.
any. We haven't been to any countries in Africa, I don't think, unless. Yeah, I don't think so. Like, I really wanted to go to Egypt for a long time. Still do.
Yes, Egypt.
Would love to go to Mumbai. Would love to go to Australia. We've been to New Zealand, and what a missed opportunity to visit Australia at the time. So our schedules are just so busy. love to visit Russia and check out all those beautiful museums. You know, there's so many amazing paintings in Russia. Fiji, right, Kay? I'd love to check out Fiji. Am I missing anywhere? See, this was also really interesting to see where the flare starts on the bell bottoms. Right? It starts really high up. I would have thought it started much lower, like after the knee. But it actually starts like in the middle of the thigh.
It doesn't look, it's like a higher flare.
Talking about vacation, what would be your ideal vacation? Is that like sun and hanging out on the beach, or doing really art-related stuff, or both?
I think it depends on the point in our lives. Right now, I personally would love to be on a sunny beach. That sounds amazing. What about you, Kay?
Oh yeah, you know me. I'm always beach bum. But yeah. I'm enjoying the winter actually.
Oh, that's good. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I'm enjoying the coziness, the pace, and yeah, just kind of slowly preparing ourselves to travel again. I don't know. But yeah, any day on the beach is great. Or just like some nature, mountains, animals, away from the cities.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that now because also, you go on like an art kind of trip. There's going to be a lot of people there. And right now, I'm just like trying to stay as kind of isolated and clean as possible until Lightbox because I don't want to miss that.
Clean as possible.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one I'm saving up all my outdoor minutes for.
A little while ago, I remember that Aaron Blaze and like a whole crew went to South Africa, sketching creatures and the animals there.
We were supposed to go.
You
we
were?
supposed to go
That's
that
so
bad.
cool. Looked really
We
nice.
totally backed out.
Oh no.
But this was a few years ago that we were supposed to go, like 2 years ago. After Lightbox, actually. But I think it was the
think we were
timing
so-
or something.
Yeah, I think we were so exhausted at that time, and then
Yeah,
we just kept traveling, and we just wanted to
stay put.
closer travel, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Less intense. But yeah, it's still on the horizon.
I would love to check out wherever they went. I thought they went to Kenya to visit Pernille.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And now, because of our Lightbox Expo Discord, we know other people that live in other countries in Africa, like Kofi.
Gonna be knocking on Kofi's door.
Yeah. Where are we sleeping, Kofi?
Kofi
Move
had
over.
a meeting today.
Oh.
I know someone who really wants to us to visit, and that's Jonathan. He always raves about Scotland, so.
Oh, yes.
I'd love to go to Scotland. Yeah.
Totally would love to check out Scotland.
You know where to find me.
I love that.
All right, third 10-minute pose starting now. Oops. Look at this dope ass pose, right? She's so like badass looking. No?
Yes, I agree.
I don't know like what this kid is doing or whatever, but she looks like really badass. Okay.
I want to stylize so bad.
I know, right? I kind of want to stylize this one too. I'll make her my little niece grown up, little Asian girl.
Somebody in the chat said, if they go to Brazil, I volunteer as guide.
Oh,
Oh.
I miss Brazil.
Yeah,
I
we
used to go to Brazil every year for like 8 years-ish, and then
You did? Oh,
yeah,
it's
we love
amazing.
Brazil. Yeah, definitely one of the places we'd love to go back to.
a lot of adventures.
Brazil's amazing.
I want to visit Paraguay someday again. It'll be real fun to meet Nico and show Nelt my home country.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. When was the last time you
country.
went?
I think I was 9 or very young.
Oh, okay. So you would feel like a foreigner there.
Yep, I would.
Yeah. That's cool. I've never been there.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, that's another good one.
You are always welcome here.
Thank you.
Yay.
Only there was a magical door where you could just type in the address or the postal code, and then you open it, and there you
Be
are.
nice. Yeah.
Dream. That's the dream.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Then
I
we
One
could,
day-
I wish you could.
in the metaverse.
No.
Oh,
Sure,
dear.
I'm sure we're developing Google Portal right now.
How are people feeling about the metaverse here? I'm so curious.
I just think that the fact they call it the metaverse unironically is really, really telling. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Could exist.
I feel like Facebook is probably the worst company to say metaverse, you know,
To
and to
usher it in.
introduce, try to
Yeah.
usher it in.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think they've been testing metaverse components on us already?
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
deep.
Yeah, but the title, like
yeah, and then to change the whole company name to Meta. That's funny.
It's like you're not fooling anybody. We know.
it's like in Hebrew, meta means dying.
Oh,
So
Oh
they
no.
got, they got like,
Poetic.
yeah, they got tons of jokes over that here.
oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I know it's not anywhere new, but are you guys planning on coming to London again for some workshops in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, but just don't know when, you know. Just gotta wait till things clear up. How are things over? Well, actually, I don't want to get into. Yeah.
We're still
So,
standing. Seems going better,
Okay. Cool.
I think. I don't look at the news, so.
good for you. Yeah.
Well, we hear what you're saying. The news can be definitely emotionally draining. It is for me.
So,
What was that?
We all know
oh,
how
I want
marketing
to ask
is.
a question. When it comes to stylization or shorthand,
Yes.
both of you are doing right now very stylized stuff. Do you have any advice or for people who want to develop that side?
Yeah. What I'd say is like look at your subject and start to think about your subject in a way where it's not it's in words. It's in like more descriptive type words as opposed to angles and like shapes that you see, right? You're trying to break out of that. You're trying to grab the essence of your subject and then do it in your own
Sorry,
way.
Bobby. My computer just froze right now. I'm just gonna.
Okay. Do you need to? Is it just Magma or your whole computer?
Oh, computer. Let me try something right now. Try
Extra drawing time.
Could someone explain how to do a more defined line work as an example?
More which work?
A defined line work.
Like defined line work?
Yes.
What do you kind of mean by that? Just so I totally understand.
For example, when doing a final product, for example, how you can make it more clear and how to make it more specific per se. The lines, the structural lines, less relevant, and the lines that are meant to be in the what artwork be more defined.
Oh, well, have you tried like how a lot of people do it and how I've done it as well is just you're kind of on different gears. So your first gear is just quick and you're trying to get down the idea and then you turn down the opacity and you go over top and clean things up. If you need to clean it up a couple times, then you do that. But I think the real trick is to know what the objective during each stage. So you're not trying to get too detailed on your first stage.
Okay, thank you very much. I have another question. How we can join like in these sketching sessions? I don't know.
Oh, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday you can join these sketching sessions.
Yes, but how? Like how I join in Magma Studio?
You have some
There's
links
a
in the
link.
Discord? Yeah.
Yeah, right here in the Livebox Discord, in the LBX live chat, you will find links to the magma boards, and you can draw with a lot of the members of the community here.
Yeah. Nico has a magma board, and I have one, and we are only 2 on our board, so maybe you can. Like there is space.
Where? I'm sorry. In which chat? I'm very sorry.
Well,
I will send
maybe
it to
you
you.
could
Don't worry.
just text and figure it out
Yeah,
there.
you can
Yeah,
like
Yeah, I
Sorry,
will do
sorry.
that.
Okay. Which one is a mod? Oh, I saw. Sorry.
Inca.
Linker, I will tag you.
Oh, thank you very much.
I send it to you if you.
in the meantime, Bobby, there's another question on Slido. Do you ever feel the work you have been rendering for 20 plus hours doesn't feel complete? And do you have a checklist for the finishing piece?
That's so funny. Okay, here's the next 10-minute pose. Fourth 10-minute pose. This one's a great one too. Is there a checklist? Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I just took a glimpse of your last drawing.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. Yeah? Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, now I can't.
No, we lost Kay.
We can't hear Kate.
Okay. So, what was the question again?
Do you ever feel like the work you've been rendering for 20 plus hours doesn't feel complete? And do you have a checklist?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I definitely have had situations where I feel like the work that I've been doing is a waste of time. Complete, yeah, I think there's a tendency as well, like to constantly, perhaps not for everybody, for me, there's a tendency to look at something and go, yeah, it looks almost finished, but I just got this other idea to do this and this and this. Some people, they say, well, how do you know when to stop? When's your deadline? And if you don't have a deadline, then maybe it gets a bit more difficult. I tend to, go through all those little bits and pieces of like, oh, I have this other idea, I have this other idea, I have this other idea, until I don't have any more ideas. And then the real big checklist here is, the biggest one is just trying to look at the thing with fresh eyes and trying to just feel, see how it would be if I didn't know the artist. If I was looking at the art for the very first time, what's the feeling that I get from this? What's the feeling that I want to get from it? Do they match? Is it strong? Can I make it stronger? These are all things in my checklist, which is kind of funny because it's like they're very kind of non-tangible things, right? They're just feelings. But that's what moves people. And when you think about your favorite story, your favorite song, your favorite movie, your favorite piece of art, anything that's kind of related to art, the favorite ones are the ones that move you. So I am always like, well, why don't people just start off with that first? That's what I would start off with. I'd start off with the objective. Oh, how do I want to move somebody? Right? And that's the biggest thing on my checklist. And then I gear everything, all my technical skills, towards achieving that feeling that I want the audience to have. So if it's funny, I'm trying to do something, I look at it and I go, does this really make me laugh? Does it? If I didn't know myself, would I laugh? Is this the feeling that I want? And then after that, then you got the basic stuff that everybody, a lot of professionals have, like looking at things, and part of the checklist is seeing the mirror image of it. What does it look like in the mirror image? Are there any tangents? Unwanted tangents? Are there any areas that attract the eye that shouldn't attract the eye? Are there any structural issues? Are there any lighting issues dealing with structure, perhaps? Are there any transitional issues going from one thing to another thing? So, for example, if it's like, if there's a lot of wrinkles in the sleeve, well, how do those wrinkles transition to a smooth surface on the chest, perhaps? Right? They generally don't just all of a sudden become smooth. And that transition creates this sense of just this nice natural sense. So there's a few, but I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more. These are, a lot of these I would pick up as well from other people. Like, oh, they looked at this thing, so I'll start looking at that thing.
Remember a little while ago, also depends like why you made a piece, and I believe you told us that, for example, for studying, if you found like the little bit that you want to learn from that study, even though it's not finished, it depends on what you get out of it for the information. But maybe that's a different subject.
I feel like that, like, I totally agree. Agree with myself, apparently. But I also, I see that as being more of like a studying kind of thing. Like, what's your objective here in terms of learning, right? So you may stop because you've learned your, whatever it is you want to learn. But then how I see this question being slightly different is like, how do you kind of know that the painting is done? I don't know.
True. Yeah.
This is fun. This little plaid pattern will help to shape my character a bit more, because I could just have that plaid pattern almost doing like a cross contour across the body.
Someone on Slido is complimenting poses you find for us today, and are asking where do you find such a good material for these poses?
You know what? Highlight, big sticker for that person that said that, because I really appreciate that. The other week when I was preparing these reference images for everybody for today's session, I was like, dang, this is taking so long to try to find pictures that I like and stuff like that. I really put in a lot of effort into this, so I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's so nice to hear, and it's very encouraging too. Because like I am looking at these things going, yeah, this would be a good pose. This would be a good subject. This would be a good photo. And then I also think about the order of how I show these photos to everybody. Like, what's the first subject going to be? What's the second subject? And all that stuff. Oops. Got a little bit less than 2 minutes. A little bit less than 2 minutes. A really challenging thing if you are trying to do something very representational is her smile actually is in the shape of a frown, right? If you just look at the two-dimensional design of it, it's a shape that goes like this. It makes a frown, but you have to, take into consideration all the structure of the head and everything, and make it feel like a smile. It's also really fun and challenging. Is everything okay, Patricia? I saw you joined Zoom.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could hear Kay on Discord, so and I want to ask a question
Oh,
with regard to both of you.
well, she's muted on Zoom.
Ah, okay.
We both are. All right, last pose. Here we go. This looks like a painting, doesn't it? It's so nice.
I have a question from Slido. I'm using a hard round brush, and I would like to encourage myself to draw more confident lines rather than scratches, but not sure what's the right method. Any advice? And if it's the right method to use the round brush.
Right now I'm just using a basic round brush, so I'd probably be very biased. The reason why I would think just using one brush to begin with is good is because usually I just use one brush to begin with. It's fine for me. I could do so many things with it. However, I do know that it is because of the way that I use the brush. The way that I use the brush makes it extremely versatile for the things that I may want to do. And so I also know there's other brushes where that doesn't work. It doesn't work well. The other thing is I know that from teaching so much, I know that even if somebody uses the same default brush as me, most likely they will not be able to do how I use the brush. They won't be able to use it the same way just because I've taught long enough to know that it's also in the way that I use the brush. So it's a bit more of a complex question than one might think.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm used to draw traditionally using pencils, markers, etc. And I'm trying now magma as a practice.
Yep.
And I have a difficulty to get used to the digital media. What is your recommendations to get more used to?
Well, if I could give a plug to Schoolism, that would be where I would go, because if I had my way, I'd want to learn from people that are really good at what they do and have created instructions that don't just teach me what they're doing, but why do they do it that way, and then through that I would learn another person's way of how to do things. This is exactly what I did as well. You know, I learned one person's way to do things. Well, actually, first I stumbled through my own way to do things because
Hey.
it
Sorry,
was
we're streaming right now. It's okay.
oh yeah. So
Yeah, but then it cut off. I don't know how to fix it.
I can hear you. Okay, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
I guess not. Yeah, so how I would go about it is I would actually, my course, if I could really plug that, because I started off traditional painting, the way that I digital
How's the
paint.
bunny?
Hold on a second.
Oh, I want to see the bunny. How are they with it? They're good? Oh, sorry. Is it? Oops. But I can't hear them.
I know. Oh my gosh. Let me go. I know you can't hear anybody, but
Did I not? Like,
I think it's just your loud. All right. Yeah, where did we leave off? I think
The question was any like recommendations for start transition from traditional to digital art, and
yeah.
we were talking about your course, Introduction to Digital Painting.
Thank you, Nico. Actually, yeah, because that's exactly where I would steer people all the time especially if they're a traditional artist wanting to make the transition into digital. My course is very much that because the important thing about learning digital painting isn't what all the functions are. It's how do people use these functions, right? And that's what my course is really about. It goes a lot over, how do I actually use these functions to be able to create something that feels painterly, that feels traditional perhaps, or whatever other style I'm going for. That's also how I learned ZBrush, because I learned ZBrush before where I would learn all the functions of ZBrush, and it didn't really do me very much good. But then afterwards, I found, a great friend that also does ZBrush and started teaching ZBrush on Schoolism, Justin Goby Fields, a little plug there. And then I started to, learn from him. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not going to teach you everything here. This is like from his course, right? And he's like, I'm going to teach you this and this and this. And this is all you need to really focus on for this week. And here's how I can take these simple functions and then do this and this and this. And then he does some amazing sculpt like before your eyes. And then it's so much more manageable, right? How you don't want to do things is kind of try to understand every function and memorize every hotkey and every function, but not understand how people use it, right? If you don't do that, then your learning will be very, very difficult, extremely difficult. Finally, I'm doing the stylized thing, even though I got no time. This is really fun, though. We should do another fashion something of some other era. I was going to include men in this as well, but it didn't look that special, to be honest. Like, all the women's fashion looked way more interesting.
Yeah, I really like that theme. Because I keep thinking on how I can use those kind of clothes in some kind of other design, and I think it's really good to build a visual library.
Yeah. No, I really learned so much from this because, like I
Yeah.
said, I don't study this kind of stuff until now. It makes me want to study it more, since it really showed me like how much I don't know. It's nice.
Interesting how the silhouettes is changing so much. See the different eras.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. Okay, we could go a little bit over. So we do have just a couple more minutes before our 90 minutes is totally up, since it's the last one. But that chime was the 10-minute mark. So if you stayed through the whole entire thing, great job. That's all it takes. You know, it just takes the effort. It takes meeting up and trying to like use your brain. Try to really push our little brain muscles inside our skulls and trying to make them stronger, you know.
There's something I want to mention, if that's possible.
Yeah.
There was a question in Discord. Are there any events coming up? And this Saturday at 10 a.m. PT, we, the LBX mods, are hosting a drawing jam, especially for Valentine. And everyone is welcome to like pop in. It's Magma on Magma Studio, and the prompt is that you paint the character who's on a date. So we have like lots of chairs in there. You draw on the opposite side from someone else to create the perfect date for that character. So yeah, you're welcome, and hopefully see you there.
Yay. That sounds like fun.
Was Nico's idea. Good job, Nico.
Yeah, it's
Put
a
me on
great
the
idea.
spot. I want that.
That's a great idea, Nico. See if I
We're
could
doing
join.
some character design speed dating. Gonna be fun.
That's fantastic. That sounds so great. All right. Well, looks like our time is up. The 90 minutes is up. So if you did all 90 minutes with us, congratulations. You're all done. This has been wonderful. Doesn't seem like Kay can hear us. So I'm just going to say thank you on behalf of Kay and myself for joining us for another wonderful life drawing class. The 90-minute art challenge. Hashtag and post your stuff and hashtag it 90-minute art challenge. Tag Kay, tag myself. You know, we would love to see it and give you a couple of little hearts of encouragement and things like that. Next week, same time, same channel, we're going to be tackling birds, which is going to be so much fun. And I think that's pretty much it. Thank you to everybody that joined. Thank you to the wonderful mod team. Thank you to Patricia as well. That should be on vacation. This is how she wants to spend it because she loves this so much. So thank you to everybody and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next week. Go over to my channel. Click on the add reminder so you don't forget. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. All right, we're done.